Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Russian economy, nightmare as 348 BN sanctions on Putin to stay despite ceasefire. Vladimir Putin is facing a fresh economic nightmare as the EU looks to stick with sanctions that have reportedly resulted in the loss of 348 billion in Russian revenue, despite agreeing a ceasefire in the Black Sea with Ukraine. EU envoy David O'Sullivan said in an article for the Centre for European Policy Analysis, CEPA, earlier this week that the punishment measures pack a punch, and we must stick to the course. They have obliged Russia to invest $10 billion to constitute a parallel fleet of ships to transport its oil in circumvention of the G7 agreed oil price cap, Mr. O'Sullivan wrote. The EU has sanctioned 153 ships, including 131 shadow fleet tankers. Most of these ships are now unable to transport cargo, despite their efforts to obfuscate their identities. Sanctions are increasing costs and delays and reducing equipment quality. Read more. Russia issued devastating 5-word warning as leaders meet in Paris warning. He added, the price of components has risen by 30% for the Russian war machine. Sanctions have prevented Russia from expanding military supplies to the battlefield despite extra investment and enormous military losses. Where there are sanctions, there is circumvention. While sanctions are not foolproof, they act as vital grit in the system, making it harder, slower, and more expensive for Russia to wage its war. We must stick to the course. In the words of European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, we stand ready to increase punitive sanctions against Russia unless Russia demonstrate true willingness to achieve a lasting peace agreement. The European Commission's Foreign Affairs spokesperson, Annette Hipper, said on Wednesday that officials would consider lifting or amending its measures against Russia if the country ended its unprovoked aggression in Ukraine and carries out an unconditional withdrawal of all its forces from Ukraine. Read more. Keir Starmer heads to Paris for latest Coalition of the Willing meeting report. EU urges citizens to prepare for war with 72-hour survival kit as tensions soar report. Russian ship bursts into flames near South Korea as 6 sailors left injured report. We use your sign-up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. This may include adverts from us and third parties based on our understanding. You can unsubscribe at any time. Read our privacy policy. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, said this was likely a response to the Kremlin's recent demand that it will not implement the terms of the ceasefire in the Black Sea with Ukraine until the U.S. lifts sanctions on Russian state-owned agricultural bank Rosalkazbank and other unspecified financial organizations involved in international food and fertilizer trade. Experts added that the U.S. will likely require EU cooperation to lift some sanctions and restrictions on Russian agricultural, financial, and trade entities to reconnect the country to international agricultural and fertilizer markets.